I'm Rose Jordan with Visit Mineral Wells, and we're here at the beautiful Clark Gardens with Allie McRory, the owner and instructor of Pav Yoga. So Allie, I have to confess, I've always been curious about yoga, but I've never been brave enough to try it myself. So
well, that's pretty common.
Okay.
So a lot of our students feel that way.
Okay, good. So tell me, what is yoga and how is it different from like aerobics or just stretching or Pilates?
So yoga, it actually breaks down into union or yoke. So it's actually the combination of mind, body, and spirit, which is what we work with. Pilates is more equipment-based, where you'll be using reformers and Cadillacs, where we use more mat. We're always on the mat. It just really depends on what studio you go to and what type of yoga that you're looking for.
Okay. So if somebody is going to brave it for the first time and they're not really sure what to expect, like what should they wear? Is there anything that they should bring with them? Like what should a first timer know if they want to come try yoga for the first time?
So just coming in in workout clothes, whatever you feel the most comfortable in. A lot of the time it's just regular yoga pants or leggings, and then a tank top or a t-shirt, whatever you feel comfortable in there. And no shoes or socks.
Okay. So what's with the shoes and socks?
Well, you get on your yoga mat and you'll see some of my girls here in a moment, and they won't have their shoes or socks on either. So it's more of a grounding thing, just to not even have that on.
Awesome. I know that you, in your studio, you focus on hot yoga and power yoga. So what is that?
So hot yoga is 90 degrees. We're not 100 plus degrees. We're only 90 degrees. And then we add a little bit of humidity into the air so that the air's not so dry. The part about the heat really is important for the muscles, so that your muscles can relax a little bit. It's almost like using a piece of glass. And if you were to add some heat to the glass, it would be a little bit able to bend and be a little bit more pliable. But for the regular, if it's just cold, you can't really do anything with it. So that's why we implement the heat. And then the power yoga is something else that you'll see here shortly, is a vinyasa-based yoga. So we'll go through some of that as well. Okay,
so power yoga, that's what you're going to do today?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to let you at it.
Okay, let's go. Hey, it's Allie for Pav Yoga, and I just wanted to take a minute to introduce some of my people that I have with me today. We're going to do a good yoga flow so you can kind of see what we do in the studio. So I just want to introduce them real quick. So it's Amy and Kendall and Shauna, Claire, and Jess. So they are all instructors as well at the studio if you want to come down and check it out. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You guys go ahead and get in your child's pose. Start in there. So we'll start in a child's pose just to get grounded. We start here and we just start taking big deep breaths in through our nose and out through our nose as we work the seat back towards the feet. This kind of blocks everything out just enough so that the student can relax and start to focus more on their breath work or more on their body where they might be sore or tight. All right, ladies, give me one more big breath in through your nose and then let it go. You're gonna press into your downward facing dog. So we take those hips up towards the sky. Basically looks like an inverted V. Pedal your feet, so we can bend the knees a little bit, just kind of work out the backs of the legs, check out what's happening there. Those could be a little sore and tight. And you bring both heels back down towards your mat, and then we'll bring our feet up to our hands. So typically you can walk your feet up. Sometimes we have students that jump. You can do either one, really up to you. Hang out in a rag doll here. So what they'll do is take their feet out a little bit wider, grab their elbows, and they start to sway. So if you take a look at what's actually happening, they're stretching from here all the way down through the crown of their head. Their spine is nice and long, stretching out the back. Releasing the elbows, we'll bring it up into a mountain. So they take it all the way up towards the sky. Nice tall stretch like you just woke up. Forward fold, you come all the way back down. Halfway lift, I want you to see how important these are. Look at how flat their spine is. This is going to set them up for success in their vinyasa, which is what we're going for now. Okay, go ahead and get into that vinyasa, ladies. Step in. So we've got a high plank. She's modifying to go into her low, up dogs, and down dogs. And you can see that every one has a different pace. There's not a pace that is particular. You move how you need to move on your mat. Bring your feet back into your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Mountain, take a breath and reach. Forward fold, take it down. Halfway lift, vinyasa. Here we go. You got a high plank to a low plank. Up dog, good Shauna. Downward facing dog, pressing it all the way back. All right, we're gonna spice it up. Feet to hands, however you choose. Halfway lift, forward fold, chair. This is everybody's favorite pose. I'm just gonna put that out there. People love this pose. Sit down into it nice and low, kind of like a wall sit. We'll pull that belly button in and up towards the spine. Fold forward, come on down. Halfway lift, vinyasa, coming through. All right, ladies, we're gonna take that right leg up towards the sky. You can open up your hips, we'll stack them, and then bring the heel in towards the bum. Stay right here. Breathe. Opening up the hips. Now we'll bring it back around. Step it through for a warrior one on the right side. We're gonna get solid here in our feet. Both feet are down in the mat. Sinking down into it just a little bit lower into this right thigh. Warrior two, we'll open up coming this direction, sinking lower into that right leg. So sometimes what I like to look for is parallel with that thigh and the mat. Vinyasa, come through. Cartwheeling the hands and moving out. Also, something that you need to know about our practice is you don't have to do these vinyasas. You can skip them at any time. So you can always just press into this pose right here, which is a downward facing dog. It's totally okay. Left leg goes up towards the ceiling, actually sky. Open up the hips, bring the heel towards your bum, stay right here. Bringing it back around, step it through for your warrior one on the left side. Beautiful, ladies. Warrior two, you're gonna flush it open going over this way. Stay focused, gaze is right over that left middle finger. Vinyasa, come through. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Settle back into your down dog. One more full inhale and release that. Right side crescent lunge, right foot steps through. You guys, we can either drop down to the left knee or we can stay lifted. So if you look where Kendall's at, she's got her knee on the mat, it's totally all right. It's good modification. Hands at the heart and we twist. So coming over, there you go. So if you look at what's happening in their body, we're twisting. It's a good detox for your body to start moving everything around here. Coming back into your crescent, wherever you are, get those arms up. Warrior two, balance is hard sometimes, we're all right. Vinyasa, just come on out of there, take it through. Vinyasa, what does that mean? It is basically a combination. It's a combination or order of how things are supposed to go. So when you come into a hot power yoga class, which is what we do, it's a vinyasa based class. So we use vinyasa as a high plank to a low plank, an up dog to a down dog. It can be totally different though, depending on where you go. All right, ladies, left side crescent lunge, step through. Excellent work. Hands to the heart, taking that twist now, going over towards the left. Balance. I know, and it's hard to do it outside too. It's okay. You guys are killing it. Coming back into your crescent, so get focused, get centered right here. Warrior two. Nicely done. Sink in. Feet in the mat. Vinyasa, come on through. Take a breath. Let it go. One more time, and release. Feet to hands, halfway lift, forward fold, chair. I'm getting it, you guys are doing it today. Hands at the heart, take the twist over to the right. So I was being not very honest when I said that this was everybody's favorite pose. In fact, nobody really loves this pose, it's hard. It's okay, it gets better, I promise. Bring it back into your chair, arms up, fold forward, and go into a big toe pose where you step the feet out nice and wide. There you go, grab your big toes with your peace fingers and bend to pull down. It's an assisted forward fold. All right, girls, let it go. You know what's coming. Get those feet back up underneath of you. Coming back up into that chair. Let's finish it out. Hands at the heart. Take the twist over to the left side. And don't forget to breathe while we're here. Sometimes we hold our breath. Back into your chair pose, ladies. Hold for a moment. Fold forward, take it down. Step the feet out nice and wide. Slip the hands up underneath the feet for gorilla pose. We'll bend the elbows out to the side to help bring ourselves down towards our thighs. Head and neck are loose and relaxed. Everything is just hanging. Let gravity do its thing. All right, releasing the hands, you can bring the feet back up underneath of you. Coming up into a mountain, just take that full breath. Reach, forward fold, coming back down. Halfway lift, vinyasa, work it through. Beautiful. I'm going to take that right leg back up towards the sky. The knee comes into the chest. Half pigeon on the right side, dropping the right leg. We're going to work a little bit of hips right here, which I feel like is super important for everyone, not just women, men too. So what they're going to do is take that right leg forward and then sink down into it so the left leg sweeps back behind. The left leg comes straight out of the hip and goes straight backwards. Depending on your flexibility, you can come forward, lay down on your stomach, on your forearms. This is typically where we get pretty quiet. You start to focus on what's happening in your body. Not what's happening outside, not what's happening later this weekend or this coming week. It's more about what you need right here to stay present in this moment with your breath and your body. You give yourself 3 more breaths, your own pace, your own time. And once you've finished with those 3 breaths, you are welcome to press back into your downward facing dog to take the hips back up towards the sky. Left leg goes up towards the sky, reach it, bring the knee into the chest, squeeze. Half pigeon on the left. So they're just going to drop this left leg, changing out our sides, and they'll come on down. Sometimes hips can be a little bit tight. We tend to hold a lot of things in our body energetically. So they say that we hold sadness in our hips and anger in our heart. So that's trauma that gets built up in the body, and in order to release some of that trauma, we got to let it go somewhere. So we start to stretch into the muscles and the fascia to help let it out. Give yourself about 3 more breaths right here. Own time. When you're done, you can press back into your downward facing dog. That's good, you guys. Stretch those legs back out. You can bike pedal them a little bit if you need to. Pushing down through the heels. Bring your feet to your hands. Come on forward. Take a seat on your seat. Take your feet out, legs nice and straight. Arms reach up towards the sky, and we come down towards the toes. Once you get here, you can walk your sit bones back a little bit and kind of deepen into that pose. Bringing it back up to the top, coming all the way onto your backs. Both knees will come in towards your chest. You can rock a little bit side to side or front to back on the long part of the spine. Up to you. Just gently drop both of those knees over to the right side. Little supine twist. Coming back up to the top, and then we'll drop them over to the left side. So here's your other supine twist here. In yoga, we do one side and then we do the other. Make sure things are balanced and even. Bringing it back around to the center. Take a big body stretch. Lengthen everything out so the arms come up over your head and the legs come out nice and long. Point your toes, stretch your fingers, and then you get to rest for your deep rest. With a deep rest, it looks like they're just laying here, but honestly, this is probably the hardest pose of everyone that we do. This is where we start to just wipe our mind out. Everything needs to be focused on our body. And once we lay down, sometimes our mind gets a little bit chaotic and it starts to go crazy about the things that we have coming up or going on. So, this portion of the class is just dedicated to allowing your body to catch up with what you've done in the past hour. We would, in our classes at the studio, be 60 minutes. Allowing the muscles to relax, the bones to settle into the mat. Often we'll put a lot of stress or anxiety in our jaw. So you can release your jaw. Let your tongue come down from the roof of your mouth. That's also a very common place that we put tension and stress. So not only is yoga beneficial for you physically, it's beneficial for you emotionally, spiritually. It hits every aspect. That's why it's a different style. That's why yoga is different than, say, Pilates or aerobics. Gently roll to your right side. So we'll start to wake them up, have them come out. Come to seated. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. So we do things a little bit different at the studio. Instead of saying namaste, we say agape. And what agape means, it is the most unselfish love that we can possibly give to anybody and everybody. And I just ask that my students and anybody else, that they just typically go out after these classes and they show somebody that kind of unconditional love, whatever that looks like for them. So we'll take a breath in, let it go, and together we say agape. Thanks, guys.
So that was awesome. Thanks so much for just kind of telling us about yoga, and the ladies for just letting us see what that looks like. If we have travelers come into Mineral Wells and they want to keep up their yoga practice, or maybe they just want to do it for the first time, how will they find you and find out about your classes and your schedule?
We are really active on social media.
Okay.
So the first place that they can check is Facebook. So it's underneath Pav Yoga, which
Okay.
is what you would look up there. Instagram also, we're pretty active there, so you could look up Pav Yoga there as well.
Okay.
And that's going to be where a lot of the things, such as maybe studio closings or
Okay.
special events, are happening.
Okay.
We have a website, which is pavyoga.com, so you can look there too.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we'll have all those links in the comments or in the description for you. Check out Pav Yoga the next time you're in Mineral Wells.